So let's
Fucking
get
man.
into the week that was last week with wrestling, with the return of the one they call CM Punky.
Chick Magnet Punk.
How did y'all feel about that return?
I actually wasn't offended by it. It's pretty cool. I was happy to see him returning, although we just don't know if it's gonna happen or not. That's all.
True.
We don't know if he's been cleared or if he's not cleared, and he's just coming back to do like a segment. Who knows?
I'm gonna keep
You
it
met him
real.
over the weekend, right?
I
You got to see.
did.
That's
I got
right.
to meet
Ringo
him.
Wentz. Yeah,
The man himself, the legend, CM Punk. Which I did enjoy very much meeting him. It was short, it was simple, it was sweet, and I also met Danhausen, who was also a really big joy to meet. Very friendly guy, whom I look forward to meeting again in the next coming weeks.
Nice, very nice, very very nice. Um, I'm gonna
Very.
keep it real with you guys, and this is just me being honest. I was excited for CM Punk to come back, but I do not want CM Punk to retain the championship. I think Moxley has been the ace of AEW, and I think it has shown that Mox should be the face of AEW. I don't think CM Punk can hold a candle to John Moxley.
Okay, so here's the situation with this, I believe, right? In my most humblest opinion, currently, I am inclined to agree with you, but TK is high off of Punk. I believe Tony Khan really, really, really loves CM Punk. And the
Yeah.
original plan was for him to have his summer of Punk. I think he wants to keep that going, although I agree with you. John Moxley's run currently as AEW champion, not interim. He lets you know on a weekly basis, don't fucking call me interim. I am the AEW world champion. And I'm like, okay, Mox. I ain't mad at it. His run currently, I think, is actually better than his first run. And remember, John Moxley was AEW champion during the pandemic era.
He was.
Like literally at like the start of the pandemic era. So it's kind of like he didn't even really get a chance to fully experience the hype and energy of the crowd as champion. I mean, he did to some extent, but not on a weekly basis here. So
Now,
yeah,
my thing about it is that I'm kind of in agreement with Ace on this one because, and I'll okay. Normally, I love CM Punk. I love him as champ. I know TK is on high on his little. He's high over Punk. I know that, but at the same time, like I said, we don't know how severe or how well CM Punk is right now. Now if he comes back and if he is clear to wrestle, he may not win that title. Reason being is probably because he still has to do some rehab or he still needs a break or whatever. Whatever the being, he needs to take it easy. Um, he found out he's not as invincible as he thought he was. I mean, we've been seeing it since he came back. He's still, cleaning out the dust. He's still cleaning out the dust that was on his laces and everything.
all the cobwebs. Yep.
Yeah, he's still breaking that out. So for him to be in the title picture as soon as it was, really, because in all honesty, he hadn't even been around for a whole year yet when he was
True,
already in
very
title
true.
picture.
No.
So
I think it's like what, about 3-4 months?
probably a little bit longer, but I know it hasn't been a whole year. So who knows? He probably still needs some time. He probably needs to work back up there, and he'll be in the title picture. I don't doubt that he won't be. I know he will be, but I think right now, AEW is striving off of the fact that Moxley is current champ. He's also able to perform in front of a lot of people because he wasn't able to before. And on top of that, I mean, Moxley's got a really good thing going on for him right now
I'm
at
gonna
this
say
Blackpool
something.
Combat Club.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
is legitimately known as the Ace now because he beat the Ace for the title. So I can see Moxley still hanging on to the belt. I don't see him losing it to Punk. Not right now, at least. I can
I'm a-
see them having a rematch if he's still champ. and then Punk coming back at him strong again for that title belt because he'll feel that he didn't get to live up to his title reign. So yeah, I could see them having a part 2 match, but I think
Mhm.
this time I don't see Punk winning, even if it is in Chicago, even if it is in his hometown. If the match does happen, I don't see Punk winning. Why? AEW's done it before. The hometown hero doesn't always win in their hometown, and that's just wrestling. That's just booking. That's just the way it is sometimes. I feel that Punk isn't going to win it, even if it is on a big show. That's just my honest opinion.
I'm actually with you on that because Moxley's run has been, I'd say his second run as champion is better than his first run as champion as of right now. And unfortunately, we can't get the summer of Punk because, like Ace said previously, like in our discussions, the summers are over basically at this point. Like Punk, unfortunately, he got injured, and he's gonna have to work his way up again, man. Shit, I'm sorry. His time, unfortunately, it was short, but Moxley's on a run. He's on a high right now, and we are loving his new run as this champion, not interim champ, the champ.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm gonna say something controversial, and for those who don't agree with me, I give two shits. Uh, John Moxley right now is a better top champion for his company than the other guy on his other brand that likes to throw up the ones. I'm just saying. That's just my opinion. You don't have to agree. And I know I probably shouldn't be comparing this as when you're talking about the other one, but hey, they were the two of the three members of the top biggest faction of their company and went on to become the top guys of their company. So I feel like it's somewhat necessary in a way to compare. But anyway, moving that aside,
No,
uh,
I would agree with that.
people are excited, obviously, and I understand to see Mox and CM Punk because I mean this is not the first time they've met face to face in the ring. They've done it way back when, even before WWE. But even in WWE, Punk was the top guy when uh, Dean Ambrose then, was facing him, and Ambrose lost to Punk. So this kind of in itself feeds into that. There's a story here, I believe, even though they're not going to officially, you know, put that out there because it's two different companies, but there
True.
is history to us, the fans out there. We know it. So this is very interesting for me to see if TK is going to have that in mind or not, and just be like, yeah, Punk's just gonna win. I'm just gonna keep the train rolling on Punk, or if it's things are different here, and I see that Mox right now is killing it, and if anything, maybe you want Punk to take it from Mox. I don't know. I mean, if Punk wins, does that make his title reign two, like, or is it's just they're just unifying the championship, right? So it wouldn't be the second time as champion, right? Like, because I know how the records go, like in AEW, you know what I mean? Like,
No, it would just be unifying it. He wouldn't be like a second time champion or anything like that.
okay,
It's just
yeah.
because he still technically is the champ. It's just Mox is the temporary.
And I also know that this whole situation with Punk ruined, I think, his plans
Oh
long
yeah.
term, particularly for not just Punk, but for I think even MJF, because I really believe he was going to put MJF in a feud with Punk down the road, and maybe have MJF contend for that championship against Punk. Because why wouldn't you? These guys, they killed it when they had their what was that match again that they had with the ropes and shit? Was it a
Uh,
rope? I can't
the
remember.
electrical barbed wires,
Oh
or
no, no,
Yeah.
no. Punk
No,
versus MJF. It was a brutal
the
match.
bull rope
oh,
match.
dog collar
Oh,
match.
dog collar match. That's what
Yeah,
it was.
yeah, dog collar match. I remember they killed that one. So it's like you would want MJF down the road to be your AEW champion, right? And I think Punk is the best person for him to feud with at this point.
Which would kind of add to why MJF threw a big old fit because of the fact that he's no longer involved in a storyline that was already set up for him.
I agree. And MJF is too hot for you right now. I think to just give him just some random feud that no one gives a shit about. Like you got to have something for MJF at this point.
Yeah.
He's too good. He's way too good at this point. So I do have one gripe though with AEW, but I'll save that for later. But anyway,
We
oh,
are we
Bryan
this is
Danielson is back.
yes, Brian Danielson is back. I will before we leave today because my